Hey guys, thanks for stopping by to the Fool Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. This is my instant reaction to Michigan getting demolished, destroyed, obliterated by Ohio State. I mean, totally not what I thought would happen. Totally not what many in the media thought. And it's very disappointing. Ohio State set the all-time record in the series against Michigan, 62 points, I think it was. And, probably if they would have scored there, they would have gone for 70. Trying to impress the college football committee. Just start off from the beginning. It just couldn't get in a rhythm. We got the ball like I wanted and went 3 and out. We got 8-yard run by Higdon and then a sack and then incomplete pass. Never saw a good replay of Perry, I think, dropped the pass, and punt. And they come back, they get the ball, score, down 7-0. And the thing is, they just kept doing the same stuff. They attacked Watson over and over and over, and we never really were able to stop that. Now, you can think about it. Ohio State is probably the most talented team in the Big Ten, and they have all kinds of 4- and 5-star athletes all across them. And so Michigan's man-on-man coverage does not work because, well, I guess the key to the whole game was that the offensive line of Ohio State just shut down Michigan's defense. 0 sacks. 0. Now, if you think about it a little bit, did the offenses of Rutgers and Indiana find something out too? No sacks in the Rutgers game, 2 versus Indiana, and 0 against good old Ohio State. So what happened? All of a sudden, our defensive line could get no pressure. There were some tackles for loss on running plays, but not much. And it always seemed to be 3rd and long, and they would pick it up anyways. It was almost like their rushing plays in the first half were just token plays. Like, we're just going to pick it up anyways. So really, the key to the game, offensive line. You could tell the difference. Shea Patterson, he had open receivers, but he had pressure against him. So he would have to hurry the throw. He'd underthrow it a little bit. He'd overthrow it a little bit, throw behind him a little bit. Haskins, no pressure. Sat in there, just dropped darts. I got to admit, Haskins played outstanding. 5 touchdown passes and 318 yards. He just carved us up all game. The only time we really stopped him was when there was a penalty for like hold or a personal foul, or when they pulled out their, put in their running quarterback all of a sudden. I don't know why they wasted their time doing that. They had to settle for field goals because they put him in. Like, Haskins is marching your team up and down the field. Why are you wasting plays and putting in your running quarterback? I thought that was stupid, but they only had to settle for field goals. So Michigan's offense couldn't take advantage of the Ohio State defense for whatever reason. You had Gentry, who dropped 3 passes and had the touchdown, had to settle for a field goal there. The ball got knocked out of his arms. The key 3rd down drops. You had the 4th down where we were going to go for it, and then we get the false start. That was when we were trailing 7-6. We were at about the 40-yard line. That was like the last time we were close in the game, really. I mean, obviously we got down. After the fumble, touchdown, fumble off the kickoff, touchdown, we were within 2 points. And then we decided to start going for 2. I don't think those were a big factor, but I don't like going for 2 when you don't need to, because you didn't get it, and it's kind of like a little momentum killer, right? Now it's like, hey, we scored, but we didn't score. We only got 6. It could have been 21-20. Instead, Ohio State had a little momentum. They just marched down the field thanks to a lot of defensive penalties, which were penalties, and then they got a field goal, whereas we held firm, barely, like forced them out at like the half-inch line, but they ruled it incomplete anyways. Another thing I had issue with, the special teams. Obviously, they recovered the fumble, great, but they had the blocked punt for the touchdown. That was really like just one of the daggers in the second half. Also, Ambry Thomas, what are you doing? Not fair catching the ball. There's one time he had a good return past like 35. One time. Every time he's like running, he's trying to make plays. We're not even getting to like the 20-yard line. Every time you're doing that, you're costing yourself yards. Just take the fair catch. Get the ball at the 25-yard line. I think that was a big factor. Kind of every game, even in starting the second half there, he caught a ball at like the 10-yard line. It's like, now you got to go 90 yards. It's like, just special teams Even though there's nothing glaring outside the punt block, really hurt. The drop passes, missing wide receivers, throwing behind wide receivers when you could put it on them, they get a lot of yards. You see what that's like for Haskins. Again, that goes back to our offensive line not protecting Patterson versus their offensive line. Haskins knows he's not going to get pressure. It really comes down to that. Their offensive line won them the game. It all starts in the trenches, as John Jansen's blog post talks about, in the trenches. We couldn't get any pressure on Haskins. He just carved us up. Even talking about Higdon, 15 rushes, 72 yards. Seemed like he would get a good run going when they would rush outside. And then they would have to pull him out and like put in Evans. I know Evans caught a touchdown pass. He had 3 catches. He ran okay, but Higdon is your horse. Why are you pulling him out after like one good run? It just all goes back to like just lack of execution. Lack of execution. We had 2 interceptions. True, one from Milton was when the game was over. We just put in the backups and Milton came in and threw that pick. But, you know, good experience, I suppose. That one was already over. I just don't know what to do about Ohio State. They have the talent. Right now they have the coaching. I mean, to be fair, Harbaugh's had Michigan close in these games. This one got blown away. So the first one got blown out, and this one got blown out. 2 and 3 were close. 1 and 4 blowouts. I don't know. To be fair, I'll have to say no one consistently beats Ohio State. No one like beats them 2 years in a row. So, I mean, there's just something about Urban Meyer. He's a great coach. Honestly, I think the only chance Michigan has to beat Ohio State is if he retires. Maybe he'll retire this year after this health condition. Maybe it's time he'll step away. And you know what? Leaving 8-0 versus Michigan is a pretty stinking good mark. I have to say he's the best coach I've seen in the Big Ten. I still think he's better than Bo Schembechler, better than Woody Hayes. Because he's getting national titles. He's getting Big Ten titles when it's different. Right? You have to not only win the Big Ten East, then you have to go and play in the Big Ten title game. So you have to win even more to get to that level. And he's a great coach. Sad to say. I don't think anyone beats him until he retires, and maybe it'll be this year. Just one more fun note. Notice how Devin Bush got injured. He was down for a long time, and he had to be helped. He's limping off, and he has to be helped. Where's the cart? Where's the cart? Their offensive lineman gets hurt on the last significant play of the game, and there comes the cart for him. It's like, where was the cart for the Michigan players? Injuries, I think, played a decent part in this. We lost Bush. I don't know if Gary came back, but he was down. Gentry got hurt. I mean, he dropped 3 passes to that point. He dropped the touchdown last week in the Indiana game, so he's been having the drops lately. Disappointing that way. Obviously, Patterson got hurt, but kind of the game was out of reach by that point anyways, so not much really went great for Michigan. Again, there were plays to be made, and we didn't execute. There were plays for Ohio to be made, and they executed. One final thought, I just wonder, why can't Michigan get up for these games? It seems we get up for Michigan State, but not Ohio State. I mean, Ohio State played the game of the year for them. I mean, they played kind of mediocre football all year long, and then they play against Michigan, and they are just nailed down. They are focused. Why can't Michigan do that? Why can't we match their focus, their intensity? It's just disappointing. It was 24-19 at half, 5-point game. We got the ball back, 3 and out, right? We ran for 1 yard and then had to punt. Again, I think there might have been a drop Gentry pass there. I don't know if that's one of the times or not, but we had the ball. We go down and score. We could have the lead, and we just didn't take advantage of the chances. And the thing is, it's not like I give credit for the sacks, but it's not like Ohio State played stupendous defense. We scored 32 points on them. If you would tell me Michigan was going to score 32 points and have the ball for 35 minutes of the game action, that they would lose, I would be dumbfounded. But that's what happened. 32 points, 35 minutes of time of possession, and we lose the game. Like, what? I don't know how this will trickle out. I don't know if it affects recruiting a ton, because either you're like for Michigan or you're for Ohio State. But again, there's that Zach Harrison. He's kind of reportedly on the fence between the two of us, Ohio State and Michigan. It's like, I don't know how you don't go to Columbus. You live in close to Columbus, how you don't choose to go to Columbus when you see their team destroy us. But I hope we sold him on Michigan, and hopefully he can come, because we need some sort of defensive end presence, because I think Gary's gone, I think Bush is gone, Hill's gone, Long's gone. I would think we need some players to step up. There's no pressure. If you want to lay it in one sentence, the reason why Michigan lost today, no defensive line pressure. That's it. That's the reason for the loss. Credit Ohio State. Their game plan just shut us down on defense. We could do nothing. They only punted, I think, 3 or 4 times in the game. That's it. If we would get it was a stop if we held them to a field goal. It's disappointing. I already looked a little bit on MGO blog, and like all the fans were acting like the sky is falling down, pulling Chicken Littles. It's like this 10-2 season's worthless. There's no point in even going on. I'm not that dramatic. I wish we would have won. I thought we were going to win. I really did, but it just didn't happen. It just proves the point how we're not good enough as Ohio State is. I know it's ifs and buts, but if Maryland could have just completed their 2-point conversion, Michigan, even though we would lose, still would be going to the Big Ten title game next week. All I wanted to do was win the Big Ten outright. I don't know. Do we get a banner for sharing the Big Ten? Right, they represent, but we both finished 8-1 in the Big Ten. So do we get a little banner for that? I don't know. I feel sorry for the players to have their season end like this. I feel sorry for the seniors, especially who came back like Winovich and others who came back to try to complete this, get the revenge tour, and to have such a dud of a final game. But that's how football is. Just as Michigan players were there answering questions after all those wins, Michigan players are there answering all the questions after the loss. That's just part of life. That's part of football. Some fans can handle that. I'm kind of getting used to losing to Ohio State. It's just like, yeah. It was a fun year, 10-2. If you told me we'd go 10-2 with that schedule, I'd be pretty excited about that. And of course, we bookend it with losses, which is a bummer. Well, hopefully we get the 11th win. Hey, let me know, what are your thoughts? What do you think was the key to the loss? Play calling, offensive line, defense, what? Any thoughts like that? Let me know. Hey, appreciate it. I know this is a long video, but it's just kind of depressing. So I appreciate you watching. Let me know anything you think in the comments below. As always, thanks to the subscribers and my new subscribers, and I hope to see you guys soon. We'll talk about the bowl game wherever Michigan's going. And as always, go Blue!